Frank underwent 7 sperm tests at the hospital during the day. He returned home at night utterly exhausted. Yet his wife Jen wore sexy lingerie, desiring intimate interaction. This filled Frank with despair, but to avoid disappointing his wife, he could only use ice and red wine to briefly cool his bursting gun. Jen also brought him oysters for energy replenishment. Tonight was destined to be an arduous battle. But when Jen removed his clothes, discovering wounds on Frank's body, Jen instantly realized her husband had secretly resumed investigating cases. Furious, she immediately wanted to leave home. Jen changed clothes in just 1 second, and the taxi was already waiting at the door. Frank couldn't stop her in time. The next day, now single Sheriff Frank returned to the police station to check the experts' analysis results of the explosive samples. He directly tasted some, only to learn it was actually sperm specimens. Wanting to rinse his mouth, Frank grabbed a bottle and took a big gulp. This turned out to be a urine sample. Fortunately, the experts had already identified the criminal through the actual explosive samples. Frank needed to go undercover in prison to get close to their target. Before departure, the expert demonstrated a car anti-theft device.
We call it the Denver jockstrap.
The next day, Frank entered prison disguised as a criminal. Here were minor offenders who could move freely, along with dangerous inmates confined in cells. Sharing the same cell with Frank was precisely the target: bomb expert Rocco and his henchmen. Frank disguised himself as the most rebellious troublemaker, successfully catching Rocco's attention. At night, Frank expressed his longing for Jen in a letter. He recalled his previous marriage attempt. Back then, he and his fiancée planned to wed at a hilltop church. But for unknown reasons, his fiancée never arrived. He only found a bottle of milk by the door. Now Frank desperately wants to build a happy family with Jen, to have a son. He immersed himself in visions of happiness, unaware a stalker had him in their sights. Want to see more thrilling content? Hit like and turn on notifications. Next episode coming soon.